Okay guys, welcome. We're going to talk today about the somatic switch in the human body. We're going to refer to a human as a ECU. Your car's ECU. Right now, I'm ironically tuning the Mustang. Mustang's doing great, but we've got too much airflow. It's not too much airflow, there's never too much airflow. We have more than stock specified airflow. And so the computer is getting confused. You do not want the computer to get confused. When the computer gets confused, it switches to stay alive mode. In stay alive mode, it says, hey, don't blow yourself up. Too much gasoline probably sounds like something dangerous. To somebody that doesn't work in mechanics very often, you'd probably go, hey man, if you don't want to blow a car up, don't put in too much gas. It's the opposite that's true. It's too little. If you run lean, pop, you just pop a motor. And so what the car does in stay alive mode is, if it says, hey, some of my sensors are broken, my mass air flow, the amount of air that's entering the through the air cleaner is either bad or for some reason it's giving me a bad value. The mass air pressure has gone bad, and so I can't tell what the flow of the pressure inside of the intake is. If one of these sensors is bad, the O2 sensor's on the way out, we can't tell what's going on. Is it too hot? Is it too cold? We don't know. Bam! Stay alive mode. In stay alive mode, the engine is actually going to kill itself. But it's going to stay alive as long as possible. So it's going to just start dumping maximum amount of gas possible down this motor, attempting to keep it cool. It can't tell if it's overheating. It can't tell if it's blowing up. And so it's going to do the least damaging thing, which is going to be an extreme rich condition. So all of a sudden you're going to be driving this car, it's not going to have any punch to it, the gas gauge is just going to be flying over to zero, so you're going to be able to tell stuff is definitely wrong, and then catalytic converters burn extra gas. So if we go into stay alive mode and we start dumping extra gas, the catalytic converters go from 800 degrees to 2000 degrees, they melt themselves. Then the catalytic converter, after it's melted, the parts shoot out of the catalytic converter and go into the exhaust. And now your exhaust isn't letting any of the gases go. And now your car doesn't want to start, doesn't want to run, doesn't want to accelerate, nothing. All that from stay alive mode, dump gas mode. Your body is measuring for species-specific energy. When it doesn't have them, it says, hey, we're about to kill ourselves, and it throws the somatic switch, and it goes into its own version of stay alive mode. Except the stay alive isn't for you, it's for the environment. We can't burn the environment. So if we cannot sense that we have the correct values, your body is going to kill a bunch of you. It's going to kill all of you. We're going to identify something that's missing. Let's just talk about Universe 25. So we go unlimited food with antibiotics, unlimited water with antibiotics, zero predators, zero plants and animals, zero species-specific energies. Now we put these mice in a habitation. Now there's 8 mice. We have space for 3,000 mice. They get busy. In a year's time, they make 2,000 mice. But we have space for 1,000 more mice in our minds. We're going, hey, we built 3,000 houses, 2,000 are filled. But we now see that the mouse has its own system that says, hey, our herd is expanding very quickly. We have no predators. We have 0 predators here. We cannot sense any species-specific energies. We cannot sense microorganisms returning to us. Those mice in the first weeks pooped out all their microorganisms. The caretakers removed the poop and they said, great, now it's clean. Fantastic, it is. It's a little too clean. There's a joke, there's a house cleaner here. Let's call her Emma. And she's a bit of a thief. And so if you say to the people, hey man, she cleaned my house great, they're going to go, yeah, she cleaned it better than I thought. This means thief. She didn't just clean all the dirt out of your house, she robbed your fucking house. She cleaned the shit out of that house. These guys unknowingly stole the microorganisms. There's a big problem there because the microorganisms, once they stop going in a circle, they're finite. And so all that can happen is whatever species is in this experiment, their body is going to be measuring. The car's measuring for mass airflow. How much gas do I have? How much oxygen do I have? How much heat do I have? Okay. This is what we need to do. Your body is measuring for microorganisms returning to you, as well as the available species-specific energies alive in the trees, alive on the hooves of the animals that we're keeping to be eaten by that species. Fuck up my amazing brain. And it's measuring the number of the species exactly as the ECU. Now, what information has not been discussed that has more information than anything else? A buffalo herd is going to be out on the prairie, and they're going to say, well, fuck, we've got a shit ton of grass here, but we've got too many buffalo. We don't have enough predators. The body is measuring the number of predators. It's measuring the number of species-specific energies. If we don't have enough predators, we have too many of the species, then they're going to do something. They're going to cause themselves to become sick. They're going to run off of a cliff. Half of the herd is going to run off of a cliff. But once we get to a sustainable amount, that's going to stop. Everybody goes back to procreating. Why didn't the mice in Universe 25 go back to procreating? They were put inside of the habitation with 8, and they said, hey, we've got no predators, no hot, no cold, no disease, unlimited food, unlimited water. Let's put a quotation mark. Unlimited food, unlimited water. Food with antibiotics is not unlimited food, it's unlimited death, but there's apparent unlimited food, unlimited water. And so, the first time they were down to 8, they said, hey, it's time to fuck. Let's make a whole bunch of mice. They made 2,000 mice. Everything was okay. They were triggered to procreate. Right to life, right to procreate. Right? Now, if we have too many mice, we hit a threshold, all of a sudden, they're murdering each other, they're raping each other, we have homosexual sex, we have homosexual rape, we have cannibalism. Now, where should we go back to? The first time, we had 8, and the mouse body said, hey, we have right to life and right to procreate. Let's make some babies. And so, If we had all of the elements that we needed inside of that habitation, we still had unlimited safety, we still had no disease, we still had unlimited mild temperature, perfect temperatures. We removed the excess species, and so if we had everything else being satisfied, then when we got down to the number that was sustainable, we should have seen procreation begin again. The buffaloes don't go, oh man, there's way too many buffaloes. Let's kill all buffaloes to extinction. That's not how that works. We did that. We got the buffaloes close to extinction by eating buffalo tongues alone and then just dumping piles and piles and piles of buffalo bodies everywhere. And we're just eating one part. We're just using the fur for blankets and then just dumping these carcasses. That's very disgusting to imagine such loss of life, needless loss of life. However, the buffalo by themselves aren't saying, hey, let's all run off a cliff until there's no buffaloes left. That's the number one rule in evolution, is keep the species going. The whole reason we're killing the species is to keep the species going. If we salt the earth, if we make it so that there's all poop and no soil, all buffalo and no energies for the buffalo, there's not enough food, then we run a risk of everybody dying, and then we just leave the earth. It's the goal of the species, the goal of the reduction is to get back to a sustainable amount. Why didn't the mice get triggered into procreating again? Why did they not? Their bodies are measuring all the parameters, the number of the species, the amount of space, the amount of food, and the scientists are saying, hey, the pellets are food and the chlorinated water is water. So we should watch this. Hey, we overprocreated, we're a threat to our own species, we've got to reduce this number. Why didn't we get to a sustainable number? What are we not acknowledging in this conclusion when we say, hey, all life on earth is just meant to detonate itself? If you give it prosperity, they just kill themselves because life on earth is flawed. This idea that Eve ate the apple, and so we have original sin built in. The whole church has not acknowledged now that we're a billion-year-old species. And yet humans are still running around with this idea that we have original sin, and so we're flawed, and so we accept that our kid is going to cut their legs or cut their wrists or be a dick or have allergies. This ancient idea, the church was controlling us, they were enslaving us, and now billionaires are enslaving us, saying, hey man, what do you want? Y'all are humans. You're going to eat yourselves to death. That's what humans do. You're flawed. Freud came along thousands of years later and said, hey, you want to fuck your mom. That's just part of being humanity. You're flawed as a human. You want to fuck your mom, you're seeing dicks everywhere. And of course, that was just him. He was high on cocaine. He didn't have species energy there. And so his mind in a cocaine frenzy was suggesting something very much polygamous. Fuck your mom. This idea consumed him that all humans want to fuck their mom, when of course this is just his little cocaine rabbit trail. You do a bunch of drugs in a place where you have no species-specific energies. You're living in a fucking concrete apartment in a concrete city, zero species-specific energy. You think you're the high and mighty, do a bunch of blow and write a book and say, hey man, I'm wigging out here. I need, rehab, but my specific rabbit hole is I'm seeing dicks everywhere, the idea in my head is that all humans are obsessed with seeing the same sex's genitals everywhere, every single cylindrical shaped thing is a dick to one person at this point. But we accepted that. You guys accepted that. I'm Appalachian. We didn't have anything to do with that shit in the first place. We certainly didn't have any respect for that idiot. Y'all adapted that as, okay, then we're all flawed. And that dumps into every single relationship. Every single, parental relationship, romantic relationship. Your wife is fighting with you, but Eve ate the apple. You know, I'm lucky I'm not trying to fuck my mom right now. I'm lucky I'm not seeing dicks everywhere right now. Thank God I've got this temporary reprisal from the human condition. I can't exercise, but, Eve ate the apple. And we have to get far, far away from that understanding. Humanity is beautiful. Humanity is not any more beautiful than any of the other animals. Off camera, there's a cat battling here. We're not any more special than the rest of the animals. That's not demoting humanity. All of the animals are fucking amazing. But we have so much more to learn by inspecting these animals without this dumbass precursor. This other information that we're all just doomed, and so if your kid's being a dumbass, there's nothing you can do about it. Buy the pills. These trillionaires are using this default setting in your mind to sell you shit. They want you stuck in this stay alive mode. They want you stuck in this stay alive mode because you're a super consumer. You're just going to buy and buy and buy. The things that you think, hey, I'm not going to get suckered into that. All they have to do is find the thing you will pay for. If it comes to your kid's health, if it's $500,000, if it's $10 million, and you can borrow it, you're going to borrow it. And they put you in this stay alive mode on purpose. The metric that is not being hit inside of that Universe 25 is the buffaloes have species-specific energy. So they're measuring the number of the herd and the number of the energies and saying, hey, this isn't sustainable. We have too many. We procreated too much. We're going to have some buffalo colds, buffalo COVID-19, or the buffalo's right hemisphere in a group of buffaloes is going to say, the good grass is over there. They're going to feel dopamine. They're going to feel serotonin. They're going to feel adrenaline. They're going to feel happiness and motivation and excitement in running over to the good grass. They're running on the herd, on the prairie, and they're going to run right off of the cliff. Because the survival of the species is what the genome has prioritized. And if we overpopulate, then we kill the food supply and we all die. And so the super intelligent right hemisphere is going to reduce the herd. But in the prairie, we have parameters. Once we reduce the number of the species to a sustainable amount with the species-specific energy, we go ahead and have the right to life and right to procreate. What we're seeing in Universe 25, what we're seeing in the Mayan cities, what we're seeing in the Egyptian cities is where they have removed species-specific energy. Now, everybody goes nuts, the exact same as Universe 25, homosexuality, cannibalism, murdering each other to extinction because they cannot meet the parameter. They cannot meet the necessary metric in the right hemisphere. This is an ECU. It has one means of returning this balance. Returning this balance. Reduce the number of species until we have equal, sustainable species-specific energy. But if you get rid of the species-specific energy in a city, we're going to reduce and reduce and reduce with the goal of getting to sustainability. Whoop! But there's no energies there. So zero becomes the number. That's why we're seeing all of these cities wiped all the way off. You cannot get back to right to procreate, right to life, right to procreate, if it's a sustainable number of species-specific energies, and we've moved all of those to somewhere else. You got all these countries that are buying all of their food from another country, but their body is measuring for species-specific energy where they exist, where they spend time, where they habitate. It's not measuring India, it's not measuring Vietnam, it's not measuring China for species-specific energies. If what you're eating is being grown somewhere else and then mixed with a antibiotic, branded as a stabilizer, your body is saying, hey, there's zero. Zero is the number. Zero is the number in your house. Doesn't matter if you're growing huge amounts of plants in your cities, if where you're living, you're eating dead food with preservatives in it, with antibiotics being branded as preservatives being branded, I'm sorry, I said it right the first time. With antibiotics being branded as preservatives or stabilizers, you're eating food that's killing the microorganisms that are being measured and need to return to you in greater numbers than they're leaving you every single day. We cannot hit that parameter where we are able to go ahead and have health equity and procreate again. And so, very much like in Universe 25, each of these cities has done the exact same thing. We have apparent abundance. Hey, there's rice everywhere. Everybody's standing on a fucking pile of rice. And everybody has become homosexual and violent. There's unlimited food in America. My father works at a food bank. Our family had a food bank at our house. 4 people most of my life. I was always helping deliver the food. However, this food is being either the fruit and vegetables are being grown by machines with chemicals in the soil so that we have zero microorganism availability, and then the rest of the processed foods obviously have zero microorganisms whatsoever, and preservatives that kill the microorganisms that live inside of you. So some of the parameters that your body is measuring for don't exist. So there isn't a sustainable number in your city. Your body isn't trying to kill all humans, it's trying to reduce the number of humans to a sustainable amount versus the number of your species-specific energies. However, if there's zero species-specific energies being grown in your house, in a life cycle, where the microorganisms are leaving you, going into the soil, going into the tree, and then coming back to you, that number is zero. So your body isn't really trying to kill you, all of you, trying to kill some of you. The difficult thing is that what I'm seeing around me are all humans stuck in stay alive mode. If I was to go across the street and say, okay, everybody line up. Now, what are your health problems? I'm not going to have one person walk up and say, Doc, what do you mean? There's no health problems. Why would I have health problems? I'm a human. The human body is self-diagnosing, self-healing. There's nothing wrong with me. I do 3 hours of cardio every single day, and I eat healthy foods every day. Every day I feel better than I did yesterday, and I've never had a health problem in my entire life. Why would I have that? Is what I should be, 90%, 99%, whatever the majority of these people should be saying, I don't understand, why would I need to see a doctor? And instead, of course, every single human is going to say, hey, I'm in stay-alive mode. They call it aguantao here. I don't have health. I've woken up. I'm still breathing, and I'm grateful to God in heaven. The magical wish giver has given me another day of life. However, I feel aguantao. This is not real life. I'm waiting for real life to begin. I don't know why real life stopped. I'm waiting for real life to begin. That's what aguantao means, and that's what the people consider themselves to be in here. And I would say, okay, let's get a list of your symptoms, and instead of saying, yeah, that's weird, I wouldn't have any symptoms, every single person is going to say, hey, let's start with my left foot, and end up with, the lesser problem. They're going to have this huge list of problems. What you're seeing is every single human in stay-alive mode. There's obviously no serotonin. There's obviously no dopamine. There's obviously no adrenaline. There's obviously obviously, I want to slap this mosquito without fucking up your awesome drawing here, people. We're not going to see the cerebral fluid being swapped out in this guy's head. So each day he's going to be a little bit more anxious, a little bit more confused, because there's no microorganisms manufacturing this fluid inside his body that he needs to swap out 100% every day. How many decades have you been alive without changing out that fluid, guys? How many decades? Are you scared because you're watching YouTube and you could count 150 dead people, new dead people today on YouTube? Or are you terrified because you haven't swapped out the cerebral fluid, and so your brain is sitting in shit? Your brain is sitting in its own waste. Your brain is sitting in acid, when it's supposed to be sitting in perfectly clear, brand new fluid, swapped out 100% every single day. Why aren't you happy? Why aren't you motivated? Why aren't you able to tell yourself, I'm going to go exercise for 3 hours a day? I'm an evolving human, not better than anyone on the face of the planet. However, my people maintain this life cycle. Try to go backwards there. And so, at 4 o'clock every day, my brain wakes me up and says, oh man, it's time to do 3 hours of cardio. And the people around me are going, what are you doing? You're going to hurt yourself. Well, I've been doing this for 40-some years. I've injured myself. God, I shit with myself once this week. But it's an injury every 5 years, and it's something minor. I got hit once. That was no fun in 2014. But I moved. These people are 70 years behind where America is in this switch. And so you just don't have the same level of violence. In America, you just get hit all day. You're driving down the road, and if somebody hits you and they keep going, you're on the ground, and you're looking like, hey, what happened? And you see some blue hair. This gal's just driving down the road hitting people. Other times you're waiting at a light, somebody gets up on the curb, whack, rips the bike out from under you, and at the exact same moment as they rip the bike out from under you, you can see the driver and the passenger texting. This is 7 years stuck in stay-alive mode. It's getting to the point we've gotten so good at avoiding the moment of death that the body is having to be, the right hemisphere is having to become creative. And so it's just taking people's body over and running people over on a daily basis. Every time you see somebody snap and they go, hey, seemed like a cool guy. Everything was normal up until the moment he snapped. Good wife, good support system, good neighbors, great credit score, nice apartment, nice condo. I don't know what happened. He doesn't either. That right hemisphere is having to take us over and use us to put down a couple of people, trying to hit that number, trying to hit that sustainable number, which of course, in Universe 25 is 0, guys. If we bring enough energy in, we can make it to where we reduce the herd to a sustainable number. If we bring enough in, we can actually have the same number of people we have right now. Not in some countries. Some countries are so overpopulated we can't hit that number, but in America, we're sparsely populated. So we still have this rare opportunity to go ahead and meet the number with all of the people. Nobody has to go. You guys all just have to make this ECU satisfied. I have to do this custom tune because we just can't, without the catalytic, the back pressure of the catalytic converter and the muffler, we just cannot hit factory specs. It's too much airflow. Car runs great, but the check engine's going to keep coming on because it's saying, hey, this is too much airflow for the factory set limit. You can't change your factory set limit. I can change the factory set limit. I can tune that bitch up. You're not going to be able to change the factory set limit, nice people. And so it's going to be a full, extinction is the word I'm looking for. I should be able to get to pretty quick. I don't speak English that much. Guys, that's it. That's the information that they're not talking about. They always stop and say, well, Eve ate the apple. Eve ate the apple, even though we're talking about a different species, this idea that life on Earth is just meant to terminate itself. Every time your wife says some crazy shit, you just go, oh, humans, that's not the normal. You have to heal that woman. Don't ignore that woman. Heal that woman wholly, and she'll feel comfortable in that relationship. But not until that ECU inside of your wife can measure sufficient species-specific energies inside of the habitation. And understand, if she goes to another location that has 0 SSEs, you're going to have a moment when she gets home where she's going to be dead. She's going to be stuck in stay alive mode, and you're going to have to bring her back by putting her in an area that has a little food forest and say, hey, you're in SAM, you're in stay alive mode. I need you to acknowledge these beautiful energies here. And then mind that, our entire ideal about the human psyche has to completely, we have to start from scratch. None of the information that we've collected, all of the information we've collected has been clocking zombies, clocking people stuck in stay alive mode, stuck in first death, where their goal is avoiding procreation, shunning mating opportunity, and their own death. It's useless information. You want information on humanity, you need to study evolving humans that are comfortable in relationships. I don't mean that also evolving humans are comfortable in relationships. Monogamous. Dead people are polygamous. Living people are monogamous and have absolutely no problem meeting and maintaining these beautiful lifelong marriages. when my grandmother's husband died, it's a weird way to say it, but when my grandfather died, everybody was like, you gotta get back out there. We've been stuck in a stupid city. So all these polygamous zombies are saying, you gotta get back out there. And she's going, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm monogamous. I married one guy when I was, 17, 16, 17, 18 years old. This is now 70 years later. Why the fuck would I need to get back out there? I had 70 years with the love of my life. This wasn't supposed to be. And then I get to cherish the 70 years that I spent with this amazing person until it's my time to get back in the soil, you fucking weird ass zombies. Guys, that's my time. I got so much shit to do. It's unbelievable. But you guys are super cool, dude. You guys are super cool. I do this for you guys. I'm going to do it again real soon.